eCVT versus traditional transmissions. Why Toyota's system is bulletproof. If you have been around cars long enough, you know transmission problems can be expensive. Slipping gears, shuddering, delayed shifts, complete failure requiring replacement. Traditional automatics, CVTs, dual-clutch transmissions, all of them have weak points. But there is one transmission design that almost never fails: Toyota's e-CVT hybrid system. It shows up in the Prius, Camry Hybrid, RAV4 Hybrid, Highlander Hybrid, and many Lexus hybrids, and it has earned a reputation for going hundreds of thousands of miles with almost no issues. So what makes it different? Why does Toyota's eCVT outlast so many other transmission designs? And is it really as reliable as people claim, or is there a catch? Let's break it down. If you want car content that actually explains how things work instead of just reading spec sheets, hit subscribe. And if you know someone who is confused about hybrid transmissions or considering a Toyota hybrid, share this with them. This is information most people never get explained clearly. First, we need to understand what an eCVT actually is, because the name is misleading. eCVT stands for Electronic Continuously Variable Transmission, but it is not a CVT in the traditional sense. It does not use a belt or chain running between pulleys like a regular CVT. It has almost nothing in common with the CVTs that have earned bad reputations in other brands. Toyota's eCVT is technically a power split device. It uses a planetary gear set and two electric motor generators to blend power from the gasoline engine and the electric drive system. There are no clutch packs that wear out. There are no bands. There is no shift solenoid. There is no belt. It is one of the simplest and most elegant transmission designs ever used in a production car. Here's how it works in basic terms. The gasoline engine connects to the carrier of the planetary gear set. One electric motor, called Motor Generator 1 or MG1, connects to the sun gear. The other motor, Motor Generator 2 or MG2, connects to the ring gear, which is also connected to the final drive and the wheels. By controlling the speed and direction of MG1 and MG2 electronically, the system can vary the ratio between the engine and the wheels infinitely. It can send engine power to the wheels, use the engine to generate electricity, drive the car on electric power alone, or blend all of these at the same time. The result is seamless power delivery without any physical shifts. The engine can run at its most efficient speed while the car accelerates smoothly. There are no gear changes to feel because there are no gears in the traditional sense. This is why Toyota hybrids feel so smooth in normal driving. The eCVT does not hunt for gears. It does not downshift harshly. It just adjusts power flow electronically. Now let's compare this to other transmission types and talk about why they fail. A traditional automatic transmission uses clutch packs, hydraulic pressure, valve bodies, and planetary gear sets to shift between fixed gear ratios. Every shift involves friction material clamping together under pressure. Over time, that friction material wears. Transmission fluid degrades. Valve bodies can stick, solenoids can fail, torque converters can wear out. Most traditional automatics are reliable if maintained properly, but they have many moving parts and wear items. When they do fail, repairs are often expensive. A CVT, the belt-driven type, uses a metal belt or chain running between two variable diameter pulleys. The pulleys change diameter to vary the gear ratio. This design can be efficient, but it has problems. The belt or chain is under enormous stress, especially during acceleration or high torque. The clamping pressure on the pulleys has to be extremely high to prevent slipping. Over time, the belt can stretch, wear, or even break. The pulleys can wear. The hydraulic systems controlling the pulleys can fail. CVTs also tend to overheat under heavy load.
Fluid degradation is a major issue. Many CVT failures happen because owners did not change the fluid often enough, or because the designs simply could not handle the stress. Some manufacturers have improved CVT durability, but the basic design still has more failure points than Toyota's eCVT. Dual clutch transmissions, or DCTs, are another type. They use two separate clutches, one for odd gears and one for even gears. The transmission pre-selects the next gear and swaps clutches to shift almost instantly. DCTs can be very fast and efficient, but the clutches wear out, especially in stop-and-go traffic. Some DCTs have had serious reliability problems, particularly in lower-cost applications. Clutch replacement can be expensive, and some designs suffer from shuddering, hesitation, or overheating in city driving. Now compare all of that to Toyota's eCVT. The eCVT has no clutches to wear out, no belt to stretch or break, no bands, no friction material slowly degrading with every shift. The only significant wear items are the bearings in the motor generators and the planetary gear set, and those are designed to last the life of the vehicle under normal use. Transmission fluid in the eCVT is still important. It lubricates the gears and cools the system. But because there is no clutch material wearing away, the fluid stays cleaner longer. Toyota recommends inspection and, in some cases, fluid replacement, but the interval is much longer than in traditional automatics or CVTs. The simplicity of the design is the key to its durability. There are fewer parts. Fewer parts means fewer things that can break. The parts that do exist are not under the same kind of stress as clutch packs or CVT belts. Power is controlled electronically, not mechanically. The hybrid control computer decides how much torque each motor generator provides, how fast the engine runs, and how power flows through the planetary gear set. That electronic control is extremely precise and does not wear out. Real-world reliability data supports this. Toyota hybrids using the eCVT regularly reach 200,000 miles, 300,000 miles, and even beyond without transmission failure. Taxi drivers and rideshare drivers often choose Toyota hybrids specifically because the eCVT is so durable. There are examples of Prius models with over 400,000 miles still on the original transmission. The same cannot be said for many traditional automatics or CVTs. Failures do happen, but they are rare. When they do occur, it's usually due to lack of maintenance, damage from an accident, or contamination from another failed component, like a leaking inverter coolant system in early generation models. The eCVT itself almost never just dies on its own. But there are some things to understand if you are considering a Toyota hybrid. The eCVT is designed for efficiency and smoothness, not for sporty driving. If you floor the accelerator, the gasoline engine will rev high and stay there while the car accelerates. This is normal. The system is keeping the engine in its power band while MG2 provides torque to the wheels. To some drivers, this sounds and feels strange. The engine noise does not match the acceleration like it does in a traditional transmission. Toyota calls this rubber band effect, and it is a side effect of the design.
Some people do not like it. They feel the car is working too hard or that something is wrong, but nothing is wrong. That is just how the eCVT operates. It prioritizes efficiency over the feeling of traditional gear changes. If you want a more connected, sporty driving feel, a traditional automatic or manual transmission may suit you better. But if you want maximum efficiency, smoothness, and long-term durability, the eCVT is hard to beat. Maintenance is simple but important. Toyota does not always require eCVT fluid changes in normal driving conditions, but many experienced mechanics and long-term owners recommend doing it anyway, especially for high-mileage vehicles or those used in severe conditions like taxi or rideshare duty. Changing the fluid is not complicated. The process is similar to a traditional transmission service, but the fluid type matters. Toyota specifies a particular fluid for the hybrid transaxle. Using the wrong fluid can cause problems. Inspecting the hybrid battery cooling system is also important. If the battery overheats due to a clogged filter or failed cooling fan, it can affect the entire hybrid system, including how the eCVT operates. But compared to maintaining a traditional automatic or CVT, the eCVT is low effort and low cost. Are there any downsides to the eCVT? A few. One is that it cannot be easily adapted to rear-wheel drive or high-performance applications. The design works best in front-wheel drive layouts or all-wheel drive systems where a second motor is added to the rear axle. Toyota has used variations of the eCVT in different platforms, but you won't see it in a sports car or a body-on-frame truck designed for heavy towing. For those applications, traditional automatics are still better. Another downside is repairability. Because the eCVT is integrated with the hybrid system, diagnosis and repair require knowledge of both the mechanical components and the high-voltage electrical system. Not every shop has that expertise. If something does go wrong, you may need to visit a dealer or a shop that specializes in hybrids. That can mean higher labor rates in some areas. But again, the failure rate is so low that this is rarely an issue. Let's talk about cost. A Toyota hybrid with an eCVT typically costs more upfront than the non-hybrid version of the same car. The price difference varies, but it is often between $2,000 and $4,000 depending on the model. That extra cost pays for the hybrid battery, the electric motors, the inverter, and the eCVT system. If you drive enough miles, the fuel savings can pay back that difference. And because the eCVT is so reliable, you are also avoiding the risk of an expensive transmission repair or replacement down the road. Compare that to a car with a traditional CVT that might need a $5,000 replacement at 120,000 miles, and the value equation starts to look very different. For buyers who keep their cars long-term, the eCVT is one of the smartest transmission choices on the market. So why don't all manufacturers use this design? Two reasons: patents and cost. Toyota developed the hybrid eCVT system and holds many patents on the technology. Other manufacturers cannot simply copy it without licensing the design, and Toyota has not been eager to share. The system also requires a full hybrid setup with a high-voltage battery, motor generators, and control electronics. That adds cost and complexity to the platform construction. Manufacturers focused on cheaper, simpler cars may not want to invest in that technology. Some brands have developed their own hybrid transmission systems. Honda uses a different design. Hyundai and Kia have multi-speed hybrid transmissions. Ford licenses some Toyota hybrid technology for certain models, but also uses other designs. None of them have quite matched the combination of simplicity, durability, and efficiency that Toyota achieved with the eCVT. It's also worth noting that Toyota has decades of experience refining this system. The first Prius launched in 1997. That's more than 25 years of field data, improvements, and millions of vehicles on the road. Other manufacturers are catching up, but Toyota still has the most proven track record. The bottom line is this: if you want a transmission that will last, Toyota's eCVT is one of the best designs ever put in a mass-market car. It's mechanically simple, electronically controlled, and has almost no wear items. It doesn't shift like a traditional automatic, and it doesn't use a fragile belt like a conventional CVT. It just works, year after year, with minimal maintenance. Is it perfect? No. It's not sporty, it's not exciting, it doesn't make cool noises or give you manual control, and it only exists in hybrid vehicles, which cost more up front. But if your priority is reliability, efficiency, and long-term durability, the eCVT is bulletproof. The smart question is not whether the eCVT is reliable. It is. The smart question is whether a Toyota hybrid with an eCVT fits your driving needs and budget better than the alternatives. If you want honest breakdowns of how car technology actually works, not just marketing claims, subscribe. Every car has a story, and GearHead Genius is here to decode it.